Hey everybody, welcome to Sad Panda Presents. This is a podcast about music, and we're going to talk about some different albums that we're listening to. Right now we're off the list for our second week of Two-Step-Timber, and we are talking about the album Stomp and Smash Live by the band The Devil Makes Three. And so yeah, fair warning, we use some coarse language, say some offensive things, might get a little tipsy, that's all that. So I'm Andrew.
And I'm Shane.
So what's up, Bubba?
Not much, man. Not a lot going on. Looking for a new job, so doing a lot of that stuff. So applications, interviews, all that kind of shit. And my cat, my poor cat. I've had this cat for about, oh god, how long? About 10 years or so, 9-10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she, a couple of months ago, we found some tumors on her paw. And we took her to the vet, and they had the tumors removed, and then they came back like a couple months later.
Mm.
And so we were talking to the vet about what to do, and he had mentioned that there was someone who had come in, and their dog had the same thing, and what they did was they tried to take it off at the paw, and then it came back in the upper leg, and they took it off at like the joint, at like the elbow, if you will. And then it came back higher, and so they had to take it off again at the shoulder. And in retrospect, they were saying, like, we should have done this from the beginning.
Right.
So that's what we decided to do. So now my poor Athena is a 3-legged cat.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
Yeah. But at least, I mean, I'm glad she's alive, and she's kind of, she came back from surgery and she wasn't eating a lot. I think she was real wonky on all the drugs, and my stepdad had to take her to the vet so they force fed her and rehydrated her and all that kind of thing. And then yesterday morning I went over and she wasn't having any food, like she wasn't eating anything, she didn't care to. She drank a bunch of water. But then I went back last night and I kind of fed her, I had to spoon feed her.
Huh.
And she started eating, and then this morning when I went back, what I did was I had like the canned food, like real mushy canned food.
Right.
And I mixed that with a bunch of water, so because I noticed she was like lapping it up, so I think she didn't want to drink just water, but if I like watered down her food, she would get more water that way, take water in that way.
Right.
So she's all right. She was hungry as shit this morning, and I went back about a couple hours later. I went back about 1 this afternoon, and she was hungry, but she's just being lazy, and she wanted me to spoon feed her. So she's being a uppity broad about it. But beyond that, everything's cool. Nothing crazy.
Oh fuck, man, that's rough. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, shit, man. At least now that she has 3 legs, at least the hummingbirds have a chance to live now.
Yeah.
Because she would murder hummingbirds. Like she does. She is a killer.
Right.
She is she is named Athena, but she is not intelligent. She is like, Diana. She's the huntress. And she would kill every damn bird, rat, everything. And the real hard part was when we wake up, when my parents would wake up in the morning and we see like we'd see like 2 ruby-throated hummingbirds, like just laid out. It's like, man, come on. Like, look, you can kill stuff. Like, kill all the grackles you want, but man, don't kill the hummingbirds. You're just being a bitch.
Yeah.
But I don't know. She's all right though. She's all right. She's getting over it.
Okay.
No. Huh? What about you, bud?
Shit, man. Just fucking working on guitars all morning. I've got 2 on the bench right now. They aren't for any customers. Like specifically, I'm just building them to build them because I don't have any customers with custom orders in right now. So I've got one that's more in the prototype state that I'm working on that I just think is a neat idea, and we'll see how that turns out. I gotta find somebody that can make some custom aluminum hardware for me, so that might get a little pricey, but I think it'll be really cool in the end. So, yeah, that's what I've been up to today. Other than that,
man.
Just doing the same job search kind of stuff that you're doing. So.
Yeah. So, blah. Sucks.
Yeah. It is what it is.
But beyond that, doing well. Also, I noticed there was, on my window, there was some like black mold. Did I talk about this already?
I don't think so, no.
And so on the, like the window frame, like on the outside, there was like mold and it was starting to rot and crack. So I had to rip that off, and then it went up to the right side too. And so I had to rip that off, and then the siding too was starting to rot out. So I had to dig all those out.
Jeez.
And then, I got some new siding last week, but I finally got around to actually putting it back up this morning. And I used like a whole tube of caulk to seal it all in.
Yeah.
But, the whole tube, yeah. But, so that was my morning mostly, is just getting that fixed up so it doesn't rot the entire
fucking house
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that sucks, and then I saw on the inside that there are some boards that are starting to deteriorate, so I'm thinking I'm gonna have to rip all that inside out, like all the paneling on the inside out, and then fix it, when I'm doing the inside work.
Well, damn, dude.
Yeah, which was funny, cause I just happened to see, that South Park episode where, Randy Marsh and his wife have that house flipping show. The white people flip houses or something. Yeah. It just, it was super appropriate. That episode.
I'm also drinking one of your favorite beers, the Three Floyds Necron 99.
That is one of my favorite beers. Yeah. It is so strange. It's so good, but so weird.
It is a weird one, but
it's so weird.
I got a 6-pack for this weekend and had a couple last night, so I figured I would start my day drinking off with that.
This was Salud, man. I love the fun apricot.
Yeah.
That and the fucking label has Ix from fucking Wizard. It's so fucking fun. Anyway, so you wanna jump into this?
Sure thing, man.
Right on. So this is my contribution to September, and I still fucking love that. Still love it. Still proud of myself. So this is the Devil Makes 3, and this is their live album, which I feel like I'm more a fan of live albums than studio albums.
Okay, why is that?
For the most part. I don't know, the live it's always got a different feel. Like, I like how they change up, like when anybody does a live album, it's changed up a little bit, and it's not, it's not polished. It's a little faster, it's a little grittier, like, I don't know, it has more audience interaction. I don't know, it feels more real. Okay,
yeah, so for me, it just kind of depends on the quality of the recording, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've heard some studio albums out there that were just straight trash, right? Like whoever the engineer was that was laying down the tracks, or doing the recording or whatever, they just didn't have the right gear to get the live sound and get what the band actually sounds like. But that's come a long way since, they started doing live albums in like the 60s and shit. So, especially with, a lot of bands perform nowadays with, they're not using like a wall of Marshalls anymore. Most bands, that stuff's all a facade. Most bands now, they have like a 212 cab in the back and they just mic that shit up and it goes direct to the board, and then the mix comes through the monitors and the venue's sound system, right? It's a more pleasant experience when you do it that way for the audience, because the whole audience is getting the whole mix and it's not piecemeal. Like if you happen to be next to, if in front of the bass player, that's all you get is fucking bass from his wall of amps. And if you're on the guitar side, all you hear is the fucking guitars. You know what I mean? So, it's a good way to do stuff, and I think it makes recording live albums a lot easier.
For sure. No, I don't know any. You just said a bunch of stuff that I don't know, because I'm not exactly, I'm not that deep in the music. I'm not a musician, so like the whole production side, I'm not very aware of. But I get what you're saying, is that instead of it being coming from the stage to the speakers in front of you. It goes through the mixer and then goes through the speakers all around. So everybody gets the sound.
Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And so I think that makes recording live a lot easier. And these guys, whoever their engineer was that recorded, they did a good job. The mix is really good, and you know, I agree with you in the fact that when you have a live album, you're getting the most real experience from the band you can get from if you're not actually there, right? And
for sure,
it also points out the flaws in a band and lets you kind of know. It also, it's one of those things where it's like if a band, you know, there's people that go into a studio and they record separate parts, and when it's all mixed down and stuff, it sounds really good, but when they play as a group together at the same time, they don't sound great, like they're not that tight. And I feel like a live album really puts that out in the open. It's like if they've got a live album out and that's produced well and they sound great doing it, you can go see them live with confidence versus like, I don't know, it's not happened to me often, but maybe once or twice I've been a fan of a band and then gone to see them live and been like, oh, damn, like these guys don't sound good. They're not very good together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what, I remember seeing a band called Spoon when they released the album, I think Killing the Moon or Kill the Moon or something. Mm-hmm. They played in San Antonio and they were atrocious.
Yeah.
Like, it was just all bad. Like, the timing was off. Like, the sound, like, everything was bad. And I was so surprised because before then I was a fan, but after I was like, you're dead to me.
Right.
You're a studio band. You're not a live band.
Right. And I think it's much more impressive to be able to be tight-knit all at the same time, because it shows that you actually practice together and that you actually have charisma and chemistry together. Versus just individual players, because, you know, it's all fine and good to be a studio musician. I got nothing against studio musicians, but if you're doing like a solo album, fine. But, you know, or if you just have a backing band and you're just playing your solo stuff, but as a full band, you know, you gotta perform for your fans. Like, you gotta be able to get out there and rock out with your cock out, or else, you know, why are you doing this, right? So, I don't know. The live albums kind of give you a chance to see the band's dirty laundry. Like, are they really that good? Unless the recording quality is garbage, which that happens too, and that's not necessarily the band's fault. It could be the venue that hired the engineers and stuff like that. So it's one of those things, and it's like, well, if you paid all this money to put this album together, you might as well still release it because, you know, some people are still going to enjoy it. So I get it, but this I wasn't familiar at all with this band. You know, talking to you before, you told me that I had probably heard some of their music and maybe Old Number 7, but I couldn't. None of these songs stood out to me as like, oh, I've definitely heard this before. So this was a pretty new experience for me.
That surprises me. Especially being around me, I'm surprised I've never. Now, I probably did, you know, just kind of fell through the cracks.
Right.
I don't know. But since we're on the topic of live albums, can you? I have a couple of mine that I do enjoy, but do you have any like that come off the top of your head that like live albums that are really good that you liked?
Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan live at Carnegie Hall. Great fucking album.
Yes, it is. And him and go ahead.
No, that's what comes to mind.
Yeah. In fact, I just got my music back, and I have all those recordings with him and what was that one? The one you gave me with
J.J. Cale?
With oh god,
Albert King.
Albert King. Yes, those studio sessions, and then like David Bowie's in it. Like, that was super cool. That was super cool to like, because again, I just got my music back. I'm super excited.
Right.
But that was really fun to listen to. But as far as like my favorite live albums, I feel like my favorite is the Nirvana Unplugged.
Okay.
That is a really, I think that's one of the best live albums, especially, okay. I think that's the best Nirvana album, to be honest with you.
Right on.
But really good one. I do like, my favorite Jason Mraz album is the Live from Java Joe's.
Okay.
Even though it's kind of a cop-out because it's just him, like an acoustic player and a guy playing the bongos. But really good album because he interacts with the audience and they do a lot of like ad-lib stuff and things like that. Well, that I really enjoyed.
Speaking of Unplugged, I think Clapton has an Unplugged album, and I don't know if all of it's live performances, but I know at least part of it is, and it might be the whole thing. I don't recall, but that's a pretty good album too. It's got a lot of really good like choice songs on it. I mean, he does Layla but acoustic, and it's really cool. And there's Tears in Heaven, and so like there's some good stuff there.
Well, that was a thing that MTV did back in like the early mid 90s, was that that was like a thing that they did like every month. They had a band come in and do an unplugged.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I think Amy Winehouse did one. I know Clapton did one. They had Bruce Springsteen, but it was called Plugged.
Okay.
Like they talked about that Plugged because he did it with like, they were plugged in.
Right.
Like to electronics. But I know a couple of, I think it was, like I said, I don't really remember, but I remember it being a thing on MTV where they would have bands to come in for Unplugged.
Right.
But I do definitely remember that Eric Clapton one because the Tears in Heaven, like I think that like hit number 1 on like all the charts after that MTV thing.
That's not surprising, man. It's a good song. That's the very first song that I learned completely start to finish to be able to play and sing. And it's just, it's fucking moving. It's a great song. Then there's also, that makes me think of, it's not necessarily acoustic. They definitely plug in and use amps and stuff, but the Live at Daryl's House, that kind of stuff.
Oh, those are always fun.
Yeah, those are always fun. Neat.
Yeah, and that's become a little more common because I guess, but I mean, you got to think MTV was doing this in like, I think I started this series in like 93, 94.
Yeah, dude, like,
but now
25 years ago.
50, yeah, for sure. And then now, like, they have the whole channel, like the audience channel is just dedicated to live music
right.
and interviews and like Spotify has like different sessions where bands come in and do, I mean, everybody does a thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's
Guitar Center sessions, like stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's become more available, I guess you could say.
For sure.
And easier to produce. But, I don't know. And that one, and I also have to bring up, Jimmy Buffett's You Had to Be There.
Oh,
because that was one of the 3 tapes in my dad's truck that was always on loop outside of Pink Floyd The Wall and
nice.
Leonard Skinner.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so a little bit about The Devil Makes 3. We have there are only 3 people in this band, for the most part. We've got the guitar player and the lead singer. His name is Pete Bernhard.
Okay.
We've got the banjo and guitar player, Cooper McBean.
All right.
And I think the star of the show, the girl who plays stand-up, Lucia Tavino.
Yeah, dude, the stand-up bass is a lot of fun. Now on I'm sure those are the 3, whatever staple people, but they have fiddles here. They have a full, like, backup section of other, drums and other instruments and backup singers and shit like that.
For sure. And I can't exactly, I tried to research this as much, but there's not a lot of information about this album out there. So
right.
I don't know a lot about what's going on, but I do know some about the band. I know that they're actually out of Santa Cruz, California.
Okay.
Which surprised me. I thought they'd be from, somewhere in the South, to be honest with you.
Right.
And the only thing I know about Santa Cruz is that they make skateboard. There's a skateboard company called Santa Cruz. That's about all I know about Santa Cruz, California.
Yeah, when I saw the name of this band, I I thought immediately that this was that the name of this band was an innuendo. You know, like the Devil's Three-Way. You know, like
oh, okay.
The devil makes you and me, and the devil makes the Devil's Three-Way. So that's where my mind went with the name of this band. But they are they're good. They're really fucking tight, and I don't know who they hired or if one of these people plays the fiddle, but the fiddle player on this album is fabulous. Absolutely wonderful.
I wish I could have found, like I said, I couldn't find any information about who played it. I wish I could have, because he did a hell of a job.
So good, dude. There's some intros and some fiddle solos on here that are just bomb. They're just so good.
Yeah. And so for the most part, how would you what would you say this? How would you classify this band? Like if you were to put a label on it.
Oh man, there's some folk in here. There's some country in here. There's some rockabilly kind of vibes going on here and there. But I would squarely put this in the camp of like country folk.
Okay.
Or folk
I like
country.
That.
Like that's kind of what I think their main sound really, really is.
For sure. I heard this one time, even though they don't have this particular instrument, I feel like it's applicable. I'd call this jug music.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. You know me. I like a good hooky, kitschy kind of name kind of thing. And this is, that for me, I think that kind of encapsulates, them for the most part. Because, even though they don't have a jug could be introduced into this band and it would work just fine.
For sure.
Yeah.
I listened to whatever was on Spotify for this, so I don't know if my track list lines up with yours or not, but,
okay.
We'll figure it out as we go, I suppose. Because, like you said, there's not a lot about this album, and so, like, I'm gathering my lyrics pages from, like, 3 or 4 different websites.
Yeah, but that is because it is a live album.
Right.
So they've taken different songs from different albums, and you got, like, that's what I did when I looked at the lyrics.
Yeah, but
I had to go to, like, okay, well, this song is from this album, and they play, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm looking at one website that has a track list for this album, and it does not match up with what's on Spotify. Like, it's only 7 songs, and Spotify has
11
or 12.
Yeah,
so,
11. Yeah. So the first song is For Good Again.
Right.
And that is from the album Do Wrong Right.
Okay.
And I do have to say that for the most part, I'm kind of big on the lyrics, but for the most part, as lyrics go, they're very straightforward. Like, there's no real texture, there's no poetry to it.
Not
they
really.
Straight up tell you exactly what's going on. Like, there's not a lot of innuendo or anything like that. They're like, this is the story, this is what I want to say.
Right.
It's very open book.
Yeah, they lay it out on the line pretty well.
Mm-hmm. So, for the song, For Good Again, it's, basically the lead singer talking about, what he had to do to get to where he was.
Right.
And his past experiences with other bands.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a song about, you gotta struggle to make it.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, straight up, the chorus is like, gather around and get your money out to lend,
Because we're the fuck out of here. Give me some money, because I'm going to play for you in eternity, but I'm going to get the fuck out tonight.
Right.
Yeah. But it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun story that he tells. Like, I like the like living in a hallway, and they somebody cooked some meat in an attic. And and then like smoked out the whole house, and everybody got poisoned because of the smoke inhalation. And then the drummer, what was it? Some hillbillies wanted to sexually
figure out
experiment.
whether he was straight or he was gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole convoluted thing about I think it's just tales of the past and what got him to where he is now.
Right.
But it's a tale of just struggling,
Yeah, because he talks about, you might not think much of a person that lives in an attic, but I wrote songs up there that I'm getting paid to sing now,
For sure. This is where I come from. It's fun. The music is fun. I think it opens out. I think it's a good opening
for sure,
song, especially if as they're introducing themselves,
definitely,
and that's a good way to do that.
I agree. It's definitely a fun song. It's very upbeat. It's fast, and it's just a good little get your blood pumping song.
Yeah, it's a good little romp.
Yeah, this is who the fuck we are. Get ready to fucking party.
Yeah, and for the most part, this whole album is pretty quick. There's one or two songs that kind of slow it down, but for the most part, it's pretty upbeat.
Yeah, and that's where I think some of the rockabilly vibes come in. Is that I think it's more in the camp of folk country, but at the same time, they've got that kind of rockabilly style where they're hitting it hard and fast all the time. You know what I mean? With the tempos and the time signatures and shit like that. So it's definitely a fun intro song. It's probably not my favorite on the album, but it's got some memorable moments in it for sure.
Yeah. And it tells an interesting story.
It really does. Yeah.
Yeah. So we move on to Statesboro Blues.
Right.
And from what I've researched, this song itself I think it's an old blues song that a lot of people have done.
Okay.
But the one that stuck out the most was the Allman Brothers.
Okay. All right.
They did a version of this song. But from what I looked at their lyrics and looked at this one, so they kind of reprised the lyrics a little bit.
Right.
So that was fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that with covers. You've got this thing where, you're going to do a cover, but you want to make it your own somehow. So some people change up the timing or whatever. Some people change the lyrics up a little bit. They do probably both. I haven't heard the original to this, so I'm not actually sure. But yeah, I mean, it's just they're making it their own, and I think they did a pretty good job here. This was on first listen of the album. This was one of my favorites. As I've listened to it more and more, I've found some of the stuff that's their own style, their own writing, to very much surpass this. But listening to it the first time through this album, I really enjoyed this song. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, because it's pretty classic blues styling, or no, I wouldn't say blues, but
I mean, it's got that. It is. It's just done in a more folk manner, if you will.
Yeah. Wake up, Sally, turn your lamp down low.
Right.
And I think that's a allusion to prostitution.
Probably. Because it follows that up with, turn your Uncle John from your door. So it's or, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's like, hey, turn your light down. Stop taking customers. Let's do something else,
Well, that and I remember in old westerns, that was how they knew. You knew when the prostitute was there was that the lamp was lit up in the window, so she was available.
Right.
And if you turn the lamp down low, nope, somebody occupied.
Right.
So I think that was what that reference was to.
I think so.
Anyway, overall, pretty good song.
Yeah, I liked it.
There's not a lot. Again, basically it's just, let's get the fuck out of town. Tell everybody I'm leaving.
Right.
So, the next song, the third song, is called This Life.
Right.
And it is from their, the album The Devil Makes Three, the true, self-titled album.
Oh, okay.
And so, this is, I mean, it's a tough life. It's like a road song, like a roadie, the trials and tribulations, of playing on the road, like Cats, Van Bags kind of thing.
Right, yeah. This is definitely a road song. It's not a bad song. I don't think any of the songs on this album are bad. I'll put that out front. I think they write really fun music, and So this isn't a bad song. It's not going to be in my top. It's fun, but it's not as memorable as some of the other ones for me.
For sure. I mean, he's just saying, if everybody do it, it'd be easy. Like, this ain't right for everybody.
Right.
Everybody do it if it wasn't easy.
Right.
So, I mean, and I think that's what we alluded to, but didn't really address as far as this band, is that their music, I think, their music is better than their by a bunch.
Yeah.
I think the whole point of this band is they sound amazing in their own distinct style.
They really do, yeah. What they do is they're very well practiced, they're very well rehearsed, and they play together fantastically. So
true.
And I think they let a lot of improvisation in, because it's these three people with different backing bands. And one interesting thing about going on the road is, I don't know how true this holds, but one thing I've heard is that sometimes not every musician in your backup section goes with you to every location. So there's other people that sit in at different venues. So your drummer might make all the stops with you. That's a pretty important role. You want to be pretty well practiced with this person, so you're going to hire somebody that can do the whole tour. But maybe your backup singers, maybe not. Maybe your fiddler, maybe not. They might have had this fiddle player might have been somebody that toured with them, might not have been. You never really know. There might be an extra rhythm guitar player that may go the whole tour. So I don't know how true that holds, because I've never been a touring musician, and this is something I've only ever read about. But from what I understand, sometimes you get a backing band that travels with you the whole way, and sometimes pieces interchange for like, okay, well I gotta get back to California after this day or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I can go to, Vancouver to Georgia, but between the time we go to Dallas and Austin, I'm gonna have to be gone, but I can meet back up when we go to Portland or whatever.
Right, and I imagine that's actually pretty rare. I imagine most of the time you get a backing band that goes with you the whole tour, because you would want to hire people that can do the whole thing, unless you have like a specific person in mind. But I don't know. Anyway, we're not talking about the backup band, even though they're fabulous here. These people just make good fucking music.
Yeah, and again, back to that whole idea. Yeah, that I think their forte is their style, their sound.
For sure.
And it is, I'd say country, but a different kind of country, not traditional country.
Yeah, it's
anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
moving on to Toe.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the best songs they do.
You're not wrong. This is a great fucking song.
I think this is definitely also This Life, I'm sorry, let me go back real quick. This Life, actually, I'm sorry, that song was actually on, this was when they made up for the tour. So this is an original song, I'm sorry. Yeah, this song is original for this album.
Okay.
Now, anyway, but moving on to Toe. Toe.
Yeah, this song's amazing.
This is where it goes from fun to real.
Right.
Like, this song definitely, like, this is where they plant their flag, like, alright, we're really going to start the show now.
Right.
And this song has gravity. Like, it is heavy, heavy, heavy.
It is, yeah.
Because it changes the tone of the whole show. Because for the most part, it's kind of light and fun. But Toe is like, boom, like, now we get serious.
Right. This song's got a kind of a gloomier intro, and I guess they dip into like the minor keys a little bit here, but man, it's good. Man, this whole song, just the rhythm of it, the tone of it, is just, man, it's good. It's a little darker, like you said, both lyrically and musically, and it's just, like finger licking goddamn good. This is a good song.
It's super good, and basically what he's trying to say is that for the most part, I guess it is Pete that writes all these songs. So what he's saying is through each different verse in the song, he's talking about what people do in hard situations.
Right.
And the chorus is he's saying, me, I grab these ropes and I climb that mountain and I keep towing the line.
Right.
Doing what I do and I grind it out. So like for the first one is like he's talking about people running from a hard situation.
Okay.
The next one is people just die and decay because of the gravity of life or whatever.
Okay.
And then the third one is some people settle and then complain.
Right, right.
Facing the challenges of whatever whatever it may be. But he's like, the whole point is, I don't care. I'm doing whatever the fuck I gotta do. I'm gonna grind it out. Yeah, I persevere. Yeah, persevere.
I toe the line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fucking song.
Great fucking song. Yeah. Super good. I think, yeah, anyway.
Right.
And then we move on to, Old Number 7.
Right. So this is the song that is probably like I feel like on this album, this is probably their crowd pleaser and like one of the ones that help make a name for themselves. Cause I feel like if I've heard any songs on this album, it's probably this one. This sounded a little more familiar and I feel like the chorus, I was just like, I know I've heard songs about Jack Daniels and this is probably one of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I didn't realize, it took me a minute to, I was like, why is Old Number 7 Jack Daniels? I was like, then I actually looked at the bottle, I was like, oh fuck, there's a 7th. Old Number 7, this is the 7th recipe.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's very much, I mean, it is, to me, honestly, I think the most famous song they have is Toe.
Okay.
But, Old Number 7 is a really good song and with a really, really bleak message. It's the fact that it's escapism into alcoholism.
Right.
Like booze is his release to life. Like he's looking forward to a drink to get away from the struggles and pains of life.
For sure.
And, I think, hold on. I do have like a shitload of lines of the albums, but it's more of like him singing that gets me as opposed to the actual words.
Right.
For me, I feel like, when he says, I watch those wings spread as wide as can be, come around here and wrap them around me.
Right.
Like when he, come around here, wrap them around me. Like that, to me, like that was, like that line when he said, wrap them around me. Like it's like what I hear in his voice is like a pleading, like a desperate pleading.
Right.
For release.
He wants some comfort.
Yes, it's comfort. Yeah, he's straining for comfort.
He dives into the bottle for comfort, but he wants some physical, real, human comfort.
Well, that's what the devil does. That's the black wing. That's Satan's comfort. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, that bit, that one part where like, oh my god, like him singing that part got to me the same way like, Know Me as God, like, in Coheed, I Don't Feel Alive.
Okay.
Like that, it just hits my spine and makes my, I clench up. Anyway.
Sure.
Really good song too.
Yeah, it's a good song. It's very catchy. Mm-hmm. It's super catchy. And, this one has, god damn it. The intro is kind of like a bumpy, not bumpy in like a bad way. I mean like makes you want to like bob your head kind of thing. And I think this one has, if I remember correctly, this one has a really fun like fiddle intro to it. But
it does. It does. It's that doom 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 doom, and then the fiddle comes in.
Yeah. So. I don't know. This was it's a fun song. It's like you said, got a more bleak message, but it's definitely fun musically, and I don't know. It's very pop friendly, I guess.
For sure.
Fun fact I think this one about Jack Daniels is that it's actually made in a dry county.
Yep, sure is.
I figure most people know that by now, but if you don't, hey, there you go.
And what I've noticed in listening to this, I feel like this had the most audience participation.
Yeah, which was another reason it made me think it's one of their most popular songs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because in this song I can hear like people, thank you, Jack Daniels.
Oh, dude, this song you can hear more people singing along than pretty much every other song.
Oh, for sure.
Which is another thing that I was just like, okay, this is like one of their most popular songs.
Maybe I think differently. But yeah,
sure.
It might be.
Sure, I'm going off of audience reaction alone here. The fact that you can hear the audience so prevalently through most of the song is a pretty good indicator that this is universally known among their fans.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, moving on to Graveyard.
Fuck yes, Graveyard.
Well, take the reins, dog.
Dude, this song has the tone of it. The intro's great. Fucking I don't know. He's a bomb ass singer. Is this the one that has the bass solo in it, or am I thinking wrong?
This is the slowest song on the album.
Yeah, I don't remember. One of these songs has a stand-up bass solo, which is fantastic. But this song it's another one with a little bit of a darker tone. Mm-hmm. But fuck, the music's good here. Like, man, I think you're thinking the violin.
The violin is real heavy in this song.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking the violin. I only listened to this album probably 3 or 4 times in the last few days. But this song,
we'll get to the solid bass solo.
Okay,
I know what you're talking about.
So then it's not this one. This one's got a solid violin solo then.
Mm-hmm. It's a really kind of morose kind of sound.
Yes,
but the violin is so heavy throughout.
It's such a man. The musical tone of this, as well as the lyrical tone, but the musical tone of this is so dark, and it's fucking amazing, dude. It's so good, and I really appreciate the band here, because man, this song, I after listening to it several times, I was like, okay, this is gonna be probably top 5, if not top 3. Like, this is a great fucking song.
Right on.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's the, like I said, it's the most somber song on the album, and
right.
It's basically, he's just drinking his life away.
Right.
Just, essentially, for the most part. Drinking in the sorrow in the graveyard of dreams.
Right.
So he had all these ambitions, but he drank them all away, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and he's leaning on the shovel in that graveyard of dreams, so it's not even like, he's burying them himself. He's like, I recognize this is my own doing. I get it. So yeah, I don't know. It's just this, for being an overall tone of such an upbeat band, they do morose so fucking good. And I think, I think this song is the highlight of that fact.
Yeah. Cause, I want to tell you a story. There ain't no characters in it but me. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. But, I'm getting really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to Never Learn.
Right.
What did you think of this one, buddy?
This is a good song. It's not gonna break my top. It's fantastic. I mean, again, all of them are. Everything on this album is, but it's a good song. It's kind of in the middle for me. It's not as,
I got you.
It's again not as memorable as some of the other stuff.
For sure. I do like this is my favorite message of all of them.
Okay.
It's basically like, just, it's sort of like kind of Marxism.
Okay.
Rising up from the proletariat and starting an anarchy, because give all your money to the rich, they're gonna hand you a short-headed shovel and direct you to the ditch.
Right.
So you're just gonna work your whole life and die, while the rich get richer and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then, basically he's just saying like, fuck, but he's saying like, fuck it, let it all burn, fuck it, let's burn this whole system down and start again. Like, wait.
Yeah.
I don't know. As far as musically, it's good. It's just not, it's not 100. It's not, I think it's good. It's just, mediocre for the album, if that makes sense.
I agree.
Which is, it's still high, but mediocre for the album.
Yeah, no, I was very pleased with this album, but yeah, this song is just kind of middle of the road for me.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
So,
but
I am. So, on the so this song, Never Learn, comes off their album Long John's Boots and Belts.
Okay.
And on that album cover, it's like a maroon field with a giant bug. That is a real bug, and it's a fucking nightmare creature.
Okay.
And I remember when I was taking some class at the college here, we went to like a storeroom that had like all the like the butterfly pins, but they had like every kind of insect of all time.
Okay.
And I saw one of these actual bugs like hanging up on like in a like a
shadow box?
Like a window box? Shadow box, that's the word, shadow box. These things are huge. They look like a beetle, but they have these huge mandibles that come out of their face.
Uh-huh.
So like the bug itself is like 14 inches tall.
Jesus Christ.
And the mandibles reach out to like 30 inches. Like
God
25,
damn.
30 inches.
Yeah, that's definitely nightmare fuel.
I saw it like in the flesh, and I remember walking in and we were looking at like butterflies or bees. We were looking at bees, that's what we were doing. We were trying to look at bees.
Okay.
And I saw this fucking thing hanging over like right outside the door, and I looked at my professor, I was like, what the fuck is that? She told me the name, I was like, is that real, or is that like a jackalope? Is that like some bullshit that somebody pieced together? She's like, no, that's a real thing. I was like, where the fuck is that? She's like, it's in Texas. I was like, holy fuck, I am never going outside ever again. Are you fucking kidding me? She's like, oh, no. She's like, no, it's in like West Texas. I was like, alright, well, El Paso, you're dead to me. I'm never going. Nope. Yeah. I couldn't for the life of me find the name of the bug, but it's a real thing, and they are fucking terrifying.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Anyway.
Alright.
Alright.
Okay. So we move on to, They Call That Religion.
They Call That Religion. Yes. Fun song. I like it.
Yeah, this ended up probably being the most memorable to me. It's got a very jaunty, like, kind of, I don't know, it's jaunty's the word that I come up with for this, as far as like the tone of the music. And then man, this song just made me fucking laugh. I don't know. It's about hypocrites in, religious leaders as hypocrites. And this has a couple of really fun lines that just stuck out to me. So it opens up and it's got like this jaunty tone, and it's this tone, I don't know, that's just fun and upbeat and shit. But he's talking about some famous preachers that were what's the word? Hypocrites, corrupt.
For sure.
So people that, took money from the church or just like did really fucked up shit, like I like the line, he said, live your life right, keep your hands clean. Well, they caught him with a prostitute on methamphetamines.
High on methamphetamine.
Yeah, I fucking love that. That grabbed me. And then they start off a verse talking about L. Ron Hubbard, and I was just like, oh shit, This is great. This is fucking great. Like, follow me, movie stars, move objects with your mind. Another fantastic line. Like, for me, that's probably the line of the album is that right there. Just I got a science of a different kind. Well, follow me, movie stars, move objects with your mind. Well, they call that religion. Fucking great. Yeah. I love this song. It really grabbed me.
Yeah, it is fun. It's talking about like the outliers of the outliers of the hypocritical yes,
religious institution, right?
Using religion as a way to get whatever and do the opposite of not practicing what they preach or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, super fun song. Yeah, I really like that. So about a month or two ago, I listened to the audiobook, Good Omens by Neil Gaiman.
Okay. And
in that book, he talks about one of these like preachers, like the TV preachers who like, they made millions of dollars and they're on TV and all that kind of stuff. And the fun thing was like in the book, he's describing this guy who like wrote 14 albums and he's like, it's all shitty songs and like he he's just a shitty TV preacher and he's a healer and he has a 3-hour show and all that kind of shit. And in the middle of it, he goes, but the thing is, he actually believes. He genuinely believes in God, that he's doing the right thing. And like, that was fun for me, that he was like in that he's not doing it just to be a power, like, kind of like in V for Vendetta, where like the preacher guy, like the Pope, who was like just believing it to be in power. Like, it was fun that he was like, genuinely believed he was doing the right thing.
Right.
I don't know, it was fun. Anyway, weird tangent, but yeah, anyway. Great song. I think it's fun. It picks up the pace of the album a little faster.
Yeah, it's super fast. I just had a blast with this song, man. From the first time I heard it all the way up to now. Just super fun. I love the tone of it. The content of the lyrics just made me laugh. This is great for me.
Yeah. Great song for sure. Anyway, so, and actually, this is from, it wasn't from a different album. It was actually, this is the first time it actually got put to, this is the first time it was recorded.
Huh. Awesome.
Yeah. So, there you go. More trivia.
Pretty neat.
Anyway, neat. Alright, so we move on to Do Wrong Right.
Right.
So this is the longest song by 1 second.
Oh, okay.
It clocks in at 4 minutes and 32 seconds, not 41 seconds.
Okay.
But, this is a fun song. I like it. It's just, if you're gonna fuck up good.
Yeah. It's something that can resonate with, a lot of us, right? So.
Yeah, I think it definitely takes a page out of Hank 3's book.
For sure.
You're gonna fuck it up, do it right. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I agree. This was fun. Yeah, just a fun song.
It's a fun song. Not the best, not the worst, but meh.
Yeah.
Kind of meh. One of those middling songs, but good song.
Yeah.
I like the message. If you're gonna fuck it up good.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Musically, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's upbeat, it's kind of poppy, compared to the rest of this album. I think none of this album is really poppy. It's, like I said, more folk, but, compared to other songs in this album, it's the closest thing to pop that we get, I think.
It's in there with Never Learn.
Yeah. Anyway.
So we go on to Black Irish.
Yeah.
And I think this is the rowdiest song on the album.
It is. This is like, I mean, it says it in the title, Black Irish. They go for that kind of an Irish jig theme here musically and back it up with the lyrics, and it's just, like you said, it's rowdy and fun.
Yeah, it comes out on all cylinders. Like the violin's very heavy. I want to feel that blood rushing through my veins.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite line from this one is the only point of this body is to be used. I love that fucking line. Because I don't know if he's talking about this body, someone else's body, but he is just encapsulating just Hinduism. I'm Hinduism for sure. I'm gonna get all the pleasure. Fuck what happens. Fuck repercussions. I'm gonna fucking get crazy.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm gonna feel tomorrow like a worn down pair of shoes. Yep. I'm gonna get fucked up. Yeah. But yeah, it's a fun song. It's one of the faster songs. I think it's one of the one of the better songs on the album. I just love the rush. Like, so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. And which leads us into the last song of the album. It is Help Yourself.
Yeah.
Which comes in from the album Do Wrong Right.
Okay.
And I have to tell you, this is the better version of that song.
Okay.
Because when you're talking about the stand-up bass, she has fucking amazing breakdown.
That's right. This is where that solo is.
There's a hard pause, and she has this super big breakdown, and like it like tones the song down, and then the singer comes back up, like at the point where he says, noise of his voice would have made your poor ears bleed. Right.
When
he's talking about Moses.
Yeah. No, this was...
It kind of reminded me of the the bit from Charlie Daniels where they do where the Devil's band comes in.
Okay, right.
That don 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 don.
Right.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Like that's anyway.
Yeah, no, they fucking knocked that out of the park with this one. I will say, okay, there's the rich man, the old man. What's his name? I had to look this up because when he sings this name, it doesn't sound flattering. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What's that?
Well, he talks about old man Nicodemus.
Nicodemus?
Yeah. The first time I heard this, it sounded pretty goddamn offensive with what with the way he pronounced the name. And I had to look it up because I was like, I know he's not saying that, but yeah. You get it now?
I never made that connection.
I assumed that it wasn't a connection to be made, but when I heard him sing this, I was like, man, when he says this fast, it sounds bad.
Yeah, okay. Now that you say it, I hear it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So maybe other people don't, and maybe I just have a racist subconscious or some shit, but, I mean, I don't think I do, but, you know, but I heard that and I was like, God damn it, I can't not hear it.
Fair.
But
I get it. I hear it now, but for me, I was kind of surprised at his just good, like he makes some references that I was like, I don't remember that since like Catholic school?
Yeah.
Like when I was doing my communion and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
I forgot Moses did all that. I forgot Moses was the voice of the Lord. Damn, we're going Old Testament. Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, dude. This is all kinds of Old Testament up in here. And, yeah, man. Talks about the fall of the devil, and it talks about Noah, and it talks about Moses, and it's a fun way to incorporate some old Bible stories and shit, and just like the spin he throws on them, you know, from a odd perspective. And it's neat. I don't know. It's a fun song.
Yeah, and like the line at what got me was it never clicked until I actually read it this afternoon when I was like it said even the devil was an angel before you tried to rush the throne.
Right.
And then the very last line is you'd be angry too if you could never go home.
Right.
Like that really like made me think. I was like, shit, that's why that is. He's pissed because he can't get back.
Yeah, the gates of heaven have been closed to you, Lucifer.
Yeah, it just,
you know,
it never like I know of the idea, but like never that intention, like the reasoning why.
Yeah, he just wants to.
You know
he just wants to fucking come home.
And he just you're shunned. Forever, for eternity. But yeah, no, that was fun. 1,000 ways to heaven, 1,000 ways to hell. But I mean, and I'm sure everybody who's listening has heard this before. The Lord helps those that helps themselves.
Yeah.
You gotta want it too, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just...
Yeah, but it's not even like, okay, so part of it is that, right? There's the religious overtones, right? But also he's just like, he says, I've done bad things, but I like to have my fun. Says, good Lord says to help yourself, so fucking help yourself. And like, that's part of it now. So help yourselves now. Like, yeah. So there's like the religious overtone of, sorry?
It's very like tongue-in-cheeky, like.
It is.
So help yourself? Like help yourself get better, or help yourselves to have fun. Like,
yeah. Yeah, the overtone is, help yourself, get good, but the undertone is help yourself to some more sin. Make up for it later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that. Like, it depends on what side of the fence you think.
Right.
Like, I think that's the most clever line in this whole album.
I think
so. Help yourself now.
Yeah,
like,
I think you're right there. Like, because he's essentially implying the whole ask for forgiveness, not permission. In that is what I get from that line.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's the fun part of it is that so help yourself now.
I agree.
To what? Good or evil? I don't know, but help yourself to something.
To this dick.
That's up to you. Yeah, no, I think, fun song. It's the fastest song for sure. The stand-up bass, Lucia really knocks it the fuck out of the park right where, Moses was a great man.
Right.
Between Moses was a great man, part of the waters of the Red Sea, and she's doom, and then she's like hitting it hard. And then when he comes in, noise of his voice, like, when he belts it out, like, oh, like.
Yeah, she's perfect, slapping the bass here, and it's some good shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, that's Stomp and Smash live at the Mystic Theater by The Devil Makes Three. So. Yeah. What are your top three, my man?
I was dreading this the entire recording.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna be like, we'll so kind of wrap up. How do we feel about this? But I think we've been gushing enough that it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
we're both very thrilled about this. So, what are your top fucking three?
I don't know. I can't. It's hard to pick a three.
Okay,
I mean, that's always the hardest for me is picking a three. I'm gonna go. Number 3 is Black Irish.
Okay.
My number 2 is going to be Toe.
All right.
And my number 1 is going to be Help Yourself.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
What about you, Bubba?
So I think that number 3 is going to be Help Yourself.
Okay.
Number 2 is going to be They Call That Religion.
Okay.
I just fucking loved it. I just loved everything about that song. Number 1 for me is going to be Graveyard.
Graveyard.
Yeah.
Man, for me, that's the P song, which is fun.
Really?
Like, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, man, that's the one I skip. When I listen to this whole album, that's the one I skip.
I love Graveyard. Honestly, Help Yourself and Toe. I was choosing between those two for my number 3. But Graveyard just did it for me, man. It was just such a good song. Sad to hear it's your P song, but hey, we got our own taste, right? So.
It is what it is.
So,
anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's our two-step timber.
No, we got one more thing for this album.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, rate it for me.
Oh, rating. Oh, 9.
Okay.
9.5.
Okay. I'm not quite there. I'm not quite there. I'm probably 8.5, 9, somewhere in there. Probably solid point below you. I love this album. I think it's great. I don't know. There's a couple of songs that are just kind of meh. It's not a 10 for me. It's definitely somewhere in the 8.5, 9, somewhere in that range. Let's say 8.5. Let's just put it there.
Yeah.
It's not Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. It's not I don't know. It's not a super badass like blues album like Lie to Me or some shit like that. Or Zeppelin's 4 or anything like that. But it's really, really fucking good, and I highly recommend this.
I'd settle. I'm gonna say a 9 for sure because I think again the lyrics aren't amazingly great, but what they lack in lyrics they make up with style and their own sound.
Yeah, for sure.
It hits me. It hits me in the way that I'm really affected by it.
These guys
are. Goes up,
sorry. These guys are a ton of fun, man. These 3 and their backup band, they're so much fun. It was a really fun album to listen to all weekend, and I don't know, man. It's great. Listen to it. Even if you're not into country, fucking listen to it.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, man. I was hoping you would.
Yeah, man. It was a good recommendation for Two-Step Timber for sure. I really wasn't sure what to expect coming into it. I was certainly not expecting such a heavy folk vibe.
For sure.
I was kind of expecting more of the outlaw vibe, just by nature of their name. And it's there, but it's not nearly as strong as the kind of folk is. So
it's not like Woody Guthrie or some shit like that.
Right. Well, and it's not Hank 3. He's fucking hardcore outlaw with at least with the album that we listen to, Straight to Hell. He does some absolutely straight country, but, you know, that album was very outlaw. Like, fucking pills I took, you know?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's very, I agree. And it had a lot of roots in the old, like, original country.
Right.
Which I liked.
So I kind of expected some outlaw themes, just by nature of their name. But I was pleasantly surprised when it wasn't. I was worried going into it, like, fuck, we're gonna have two albums that are really similar. Why are we doing it that way? And then when I listened to it, I was like, okay, all right, I'm happier about this. This is a fuckload of fun listening to these people.
I did not trust Shane in his judgment. Damn it.
Well, to be fair, we both have our days of good and terrible. So
fair, but I knew we were gonna do Hank 3, and I was like, well, let me do something a little more folky country kind of style, and I think it was a good balance.
It was.
Yeah.
So,
but if y'all have never heard them, please check them out. They are fantastic. They are a really good band.
Sure is that goat.
Anyway, so I know it's gonna come out like super late, but today, the day that we're actually recording is Kyle Pertoball's birthday. So I want to give a shout out to Kyle's. So hey, thinking about you, Bubba. Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's the Edgelord's birthday. So yeah, man, happy birthday. This will probably come out after, well, we'll see.
This will come out before October, but.
Well, it'll be in September, right? So.
Yeah, before October.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you know, we're gonna fucking, he's gonna be on the show before this episode airs. So, that's pretty funny.
It's the sentiment that counts, asshole. God. And he'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Anyway. Beyond that, anything else you got to say?
I'm good. Thanks for listening to Sad Panda Presents, everybody. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Wherever you get your podcasts at. SadPandaPresents.com. Sorry about that. Facebook.com/SadPandaPresentsPodcast is the best place to reach out to us and let us know what the fuck you think about what we're doing. How do we get better? What's awful? What's good? What fucking music do you want us to listen to? Reach out and let us know the way that Edgelord and Nate Glines and Caleb and Paul Pig did on Facebook, and let us know what the fuck you want us to listen to, and talk to us about how wrong or right we are about these albums. Yeah. Next time, I think we're getting back to the list after this, but we'll see.
I think so. I think we're doing Paul Simon next?
Something like that. I don't have it up.
I don't either. I know I've listened to it, but
I haven't.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah. Bye.
Goodbye.